Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki Jai. Hare Krishna. We welcome all the devotees who are here as well as all the devotees who are online for today's Sunday Satsang program. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome Ajit ji, Anil Prabhu, Komal, Lalit Prabhu, Parul ji, Hare Krishna William, Hare Krishna. Welcome all. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll do little kirtan, chanting the Maha Mantra, and then we'll start with the recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam. During any phase of our today's program, if my internet connection goes down because of some technical difficulties, please stay back and I'll get connected. Hare Krishna Ajit ji, Hare Krishna Parul ji, Hare Krishna William, Hare Krishna Lalit Prabhu. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharini Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I want to thank you all devotees for joining us today. Before we begin, we will recite the Mangalacharan prayer, the invocation prayer, to glorify Guru, Gaurango, and Sri Sri Radha Krishna. So the prayers are on your screen. You can repeat along with me. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण We are reciting Srimad Bhagavatam every Sunday. Until as of last week, we have covered Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1st, chapter number 15, and we begin with chapter number 16. Before we begin Srimad Bhagavatam, there are prayers for Srimad Bhagavatam. So we'll begin with that. We'll recite Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 3 times together. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नर चैव नरोत्तमं देवी सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीम् उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठके. हरे कृष्ण. Srimad Bhagavatam is nothing but incarnation of Lord Krishna himself. When Lord Krishna left this material world in Dwapar Yuga, Parikshit Maharaj, and before Parikshit Maharaj, even Yudhishthir Maharaj started seeing anomalies, and they were due to absence of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna had left the planet. And Parikshit Maharaj also observed these anomalies, and about which we are going to learn today in chapter number 16 and 17. There is a conversation happening between Dharma, who is in the form of a bull, and Dhara or Dharti, who is in the form of a cow. So when Lord Krishna left, all the principles of religion which were associated with Lord Krishna were left along with that. And to re-establish those principles of religion, Lord Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. So whenever and wherever there is a decline of religious practices, Lord Krishna comes himself. Abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam shujamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya च दुष्कृताम धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे. So dharma संस्थापनार्थाय, तो भगवान किस लिए आते हैं? He comes to re-establish the dharma. So भगवान खुद आए द्वापर युग में, लेकिन अब जब भगवान चले गए तो धर्म का वापस विनाश चालू हो गया. The religion principles started declining in the Kali Yuga. And to save us, Lord Krishna has again appeared in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the form of a Harinam. Actually, Srimad Bhagavatam, every page there is a whole description of holy name, Lord Krishna. So when Lord Krishna disappeared, to replace his position is the appearance of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a conversation happening between Sukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj, and the same conversation is being recited in the forest of Naimisharanya between these sages, thousands of sages. The head of those sages is Shaunak Rishi, and the Bhagavatam which is recited in front of them is Sutta Goswami. So Srimad Bhagavatam is nothing but Lord Krishna. जब भगवान कृष्ण अपने स्वधाम चले गए तो फिर क्या हो गया? कृष्ण स्वधामोपगते धर्म ज्ञानादिभि सह कलो नष्ट दृश्यम ऐशा पुराणों को अधुनोदितः. तो जब भगवान अपने धाम स्वधाम में चले गए तो फिर ये जो श्रीमद् भागवतम है उसका उदय हो गया, और वो भगवान कृष्ण के समान ही है. तो क्या है उसका ट्रांसलेशन? तो उसका ट्रांसलेशन है कि this Bhagavad Puran is as brilliant as sun. It has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in this age of Kali shall get light from this Srimad Bhagavad Puran. So we are studying this Srimad Bhagavata Puran every Sunday, and we are, Srimad Bhagavat Puran, there are 12 cantos, 12 खंड है श्रीमद् भागवतम में. हाँ, और हर एक खंड जो है भगवान का एक एक अवयव है. हमारे भगवान कृष्ण है, उनका अंग है. जैसे कि श्रीमद् भागवतम का पहला और दूसरा खंड है जो है वो भगवान के चरण के समान है ना. और फिर धीरे जैसे जैसे हम आगे आगे बढ़ते जा रहे हैं, एज वी प्रोग्रेस फर्दर, all different cantos are different parts of Lord Krishna. 10th canto is the Mukharvinda, the face of Lord Krishna. So we are touching the feet of Lord Krishna. We are now on Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, and we are almost there. हम अभी 17वें अध्याय पे पहुंचेंगे आज, और 2 अध्याय है, उसके बाद पहला खंड खत्म हो जाएगा. तो हमने पहले भगवान के एक चरण के दर्शन कर लिए हैं, है ना. तो ये हमारा सौभाग्य है कि हम भगवान के चरण के आज दर्शन कर सकते हैं, वो भी श्रीमद् भागवतम के रूप में. सो वी आर थैंकफुल टू श्रील प्रभुपाद who translated this Srimad Bhagavatam from Sanskrit to English. Otherwise, person like you and me who does not know a single word of Sanskrit, how can we taste the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam? Right? So we are thankful to Srila Prabhupada for providing us this wonderful literature. And we will continue our journey of Srimad Bhagavatam. Last week, we recited chapter number 16. We'll briefly revise some of the things which we have studied. In Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter number 14, we learned that Yudhishthir Maharaj, when he sent Arjuna to Dwarka, and Arjun didn't return for 7 months, at that time, Yudhishthir Maharaj were seeing a lot of anomalies in the behavior of the people, in the environment surrounding, in the behavior of animals also. And he was worried because at that time Narad Muni had informed Yudhishthir Maharaj that Lord Krishna has completed his task and he might return to his own spiritual dham, Golok Vrindavan Dham. At that time, Yudhishthir Maharaj was worried and he was asking Bhim that so bad omens I am seeing, there is something definitely wrong. And at that time, Arjuna arrived, and Arjun was also in the grief because Lord Krishna had departed. And Arjuna gave that news to Parikshit Maharaj. So when Arjuna told Parikshit Maharaj that Lord Krishna and all Yadu dynasty has returned back to Golok Vrindavan Dham, Yudhishthir Maharaj decided that it is not worth staying here in this material world until the Kali Yuga arrived, because still it was a Dwapar Yuga. Lord Krishna had just left the material world. At that time, Yudhishthir Maharaj decided that he will retire. Parikshit Maharaj was grown up. Parikshit Maharaj, who is Parikshit Maharaj? Grandson of Yudhishthir Maharaj. He is the son of Abhimanyu. So Parikshit Maharaj was young, grown up. He was very well trained. So Yudhishthir Maharaj decided that it is the right time to retire. So it is mentioned in the scriptures, according to Varnashram Dharma, that when your children becomes elder, जब आपके बच्चे बड़े हो जाए, वो अपने पैरों पे खड़े हो जाए और ठीक से सेटल हो जाए, तो फिर हमें सांसारिक जीवन से निवृत्ति लेनी जरूरी है. जब हम गृहस्थ आश्रम में रहते हैं तो हमारा धर्म है कि हम बच्चों की रक्षा करें. We look after our family, we look after our children, we look after our elders while we are in the Grihastha ashram. when we have a young family to look after. But when the children are grown up, then it is recommended in the scriptures that we go to the Vanaprastha ashram, which is to dedicate ourselves fully for service of Krishna. So when you are in Grihastha ashram, you are serving your family by keeping Krishna in the center. But when you enter into the Vanaprastha ashram, you dedicate yourself completely for service of Krishna, 100%. Right? So Yudhishthir Maharaj decided that as the time of Kali Yuga is progressing and the time is not going to be good, you know, so he decided that he will soon retire. And Parikshit Yudhishthir Maharaj handed over the kingdom, and all the Pandavas, as the Yudhishthir Maharaj decided to retire, all the Pandavas then they started their journey towards the north, as was done by their previous ancestors. Yudhishthir Maharaj left all the ornaments, all the jewelry, all the opulences, whatever he had as a king. He left everything and he started walking towards the Himalayas. And what was their purpose? Their purpose was only one. Their supreme goal when they retired was only one. What was that? Most of the people, when they retire, they don't have any goal. When they retire, their goal is just spend their time in doing something which sometimes frustrates them. They get bored. But the supreme goal which Yudhishthir Maharaj and all the Pandavas decided is that Manasaha Dhairyam Asur Vaikunta Charanambujam. So Pandavas, they decided that the lotus feet of Supreme Lord, Vaikunta Charanambujam, is the supreme goal of their life. So they decided they're going to be full-time devotee. Huh? There are some people who are part-time devotees. We were full-time devotees here, three of us here. They have dedicated life for service of Krishna, like that. So it is the duty of our human purpose, life to dedicate ourselves for service of Krishna. So they decided to meditate upon his feet without interruption. So to meditate upon the feet of Lord Krishna means to recite holy name without any interruption. भगवान और भगवान के नाम में कोई फर्क नहीं है. There is no difference between the name of Krishna and Krishna's holy name, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's activities, Krishna's paraphernalia. Everything is one and identical. When we chant Krishna, 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 hey, when we are saying that, actually Lord Krishna is dancing on our tongue. He is reciting within our heart, and from heart he comes into on our tongue. So there is no difference between the Krishna and Krishna's holy name. So whenever we are chanting Krishna's name, we are actually associating with Lord Krishna. So all the Pandavas, when they retired, as they decided to meditate upon his lotus feet without interruption, which means that they will dedicate 24/7, 365 days a year, reciting Krishna's name. So all the Pandavas, they started meditating upon Krishna, and what was the result of that? Which is mentioned here in Srimad Bhagavatam in 15th chapter of first canto, 47 and 48 shloka. By their pure consciousness, due to constant devotional remembrance, Pandavas attained the spiritual sky, which is ruled by Supreme Lord Krishna. So, what was the result of constant remembrance? So, if we constantly chant the holy name of Krishna, and if we constantly read Srimad Bhagavatam and associate with Krishna, then you will develop qualities of Krishna, actually. So, when you touch the electricity, your body becomes electricity. Similarly, if you constantly decide that you want to be with Krishna, then your body will become Krishna conscious. So the Pandavas, as they were constantly meditating upon Krishna's lotus feet, they were meditating upon Krishna's name, Krishna's pastimes, they became completely washed off their all the material contamination. So what do you mean by material contamination? So material contamination means that lust, anger, greed, enviness, madness, illusion, the Pandavas were freed from all of that, and they completely dedicated themselves for remembrance of Krishna. And then all the contamination got removed. And they reached abode of Lord Krishna in that present form of their bodies, Like usually you cannot go to spiritual world with this body. But Pandavas reached Krishna Dham because they constantly meditated upon Lord Krishna. So this katha Sutta Goswami is telling to Shaunak Rishi. So then further Sutta Goswami said after Pandavas retired, then Parikshit Maharaj started ruling the kingdom. But then Parikshit Maharaj got married also. He got children also. And last time we heard about that. And let's see who remembers the son of Parikshit Maharaj. I asked this question last week, and some of you answered it. So, who was the son of Vishal Prabhu? Remember, Janmejaya. Very nice. So, Parikshit Maharaj had four children, and the eldest one was Maharaj Janmejaya. Parikshit Maharaj got guidance from Kripacharya, and he ruled the kingdom. He performed Ashwamedh Yagna also. And one day he was traveling, and what did Parikshit Maharaj saw when he was traveling was he saw that a man who was dressed like a king was hurting legs of cow and a bull. And Maharaj Parikshit at once arrested and punished him. So as soon as Sutta Goswami told this, Shaunak Rishi raised a question. He said, why did Maharaj Parikshit just punish that Shudra who was acting like a king and who was punishing cow and the bull? And please describe all this if it is related with Krishna. We do not want to hear anything which is not related with Krishna. That is the quality of a devotee, and we learned that in detail last time. And further, Shaunak Rishi said, Kimaner ashad alper ayusho yada ashadvayaha. What is the use of the topics which simply waste one's duration of life? Uh, So Shaunak Rishi was very much engrossed in the bhakti of Krishna. So Shaunak Rishi said, I do not want to hear if it is not related with Krishna. It is just simply waste of the time. And I am not interested in hearing anything which is not connecting me with Krishna. So basically, wasting life means that spending a moment of life which is not in service of Krishna. That is the waste of life. And we talked about various calculations of life last week. But friends, every second of life, if it is spent without remembering Krishna, it is just a waste of human life. The devotees of Lord, they are just like uh, honeybee. Honeybees usually go and lick honey. Uh, so they are not like flies. What is the difference between a bee and a fly? A fly will go and sit on the garbage also, but the honeybee will just go on the honey and pick up the honey. Similarly, we become like honeybee. We select wherever there is Krishna consciousness, and we do not touch the garbage. Uh, Garbage is nothing but all the material world. So Shaunak Rishi said that we do not want to touch anything which is not related with Krishna. So Shuta Goswami said, yes, what I am going to tell you is definitely connected with Krishna, because this is the path of Parikshit Maharaj. And because of Parikshit Maharaj, we have received Srimad Bhagavatam. It is the life of Parikshit Maharaj which brings Srimad Bhagavatam to the Kali Yuga. अगर परीक्षित महाराज नहीं होते तो भागवतम होता, भागवतम नहीं होता. इसलिए that is why Sutta Goswami is saying that this incidents which I am going to recite is 100% connected with Krishna. So Shaunak Rishi said, so please tell us about what happened then. So Sutta Goswami said that one time Maharaj Parikshit, sorry, yes, Maharaj Parikshit was performing Ashwamedh Yagna, and then for that occasion he was traveling on his chariot. And along with that, there was a big army with him. And the chariot had a flag of lion, and there were horses, there were elephants, lot of soldiers, everybody was traveling. And wherever Parikshit Maharaj went, he was greeted by lots of kings. And they were all glorifying ancestors of Parikshit Maharaj, which were Pandavas. So everybody greeted Parikshit Maharaj, and Parikshit Maharaj was progressing further. And at that time, when Parikshit Maharaj was traveling like that, he came across a scene where a man who was dressed like a king, but he was like behaving like a Kshudra. He was killing a cow and a bull. And there was a conversation happening between the cow and the bull. And Parikshit Maharaj heard this conversation. So that conversation between the bull and the cow is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, and we learned a little bit about that. We'll continue that today. So the cow was crying. There were tears in the eyes of a cow. The cow is nothing but Mother Goddess Earth, and bull is the representing, or bull is representing God of morality or dharma. So dharma had taken the form of a bull, and dhara or dharti had taken a form of a cow. And the bull, who is dharma, he was mentioning to dhara, dharma vacha. So dharma said to cow, why are you crying? Why there is tears in your eye? Why are you in grief? Are you ill, mother? So Dharma is asking that is there any disease which is affecting you? And further, Dharma asks, are you thinking of some relative who is away in a distant place and you are lamenting for that? And Prabhupada ji is explaining that Kali has entered actually. That personality who was killing bull and the cow is Kali. So that Kali has entered in the kingdom of Parikshit Maharaj. And Prabhupada ji is explaining that these are the symptoms of Kali Yuga. Whatever conversation we are going to hear between the bull and the cow is nothing but the live description of Kali Yuga. All the symptoms of Kali Yuga will be described. And first symptom of Kali Yuga is diseases. Everyone will get one or other disease in the Kali Yuga. Number of diseases of different varieties will grow every time, you know, and we talked about in detail. And other type of symptom of Kali Yuga is the separation of the family members. No family in Kali Yuga is blessed to live together. Children are separated from the parents. Uh, Husband wife gets separated. Divorce, very common in Kali Yuga. You never heard divorce in the Sati Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga. And then fighting between the brothers, fighting between the family members, very common in Kali Yuga. Misunderstandings are very common in Kali Yuga. So here, Dharma is asking Dhara that is that anything like that happening with you? आपके साथ ऐसा कुछ हुआ है? फिर आगे next, Dharma is asking Dhara. He's saying, Dharma is saying, the bull is saying, I have lost my three legs and I am now standing on one only. Are you lamenting for my state of existence? Actually, if you see in this picture, the bull had only one leg. The bull had lost all the three legs. So he's asking cow, Dharti, that Sochashi ma ekapadam. Sochashi means lamentation. Are you lamenting because ma means my, ekapadam? Only I have only one leg, so are you crying because I have lost three of my legs? So what are those four legs of dharma? Bull is nothing but dharma. And what are the four legs of dharma? What are the four pillars of dharma? Let's see. This is a question for our friends who are online and our friends who are here. Hare Krishna Anilji, welcome, welcome all the way from Toronto. Welcome Anil Prabhu. सो धर्म के चार सिद्धांत क्या है? चलिए बताइए, कौन कौन बताएगा मुझे धर्म के चार सिद्धांत? धर्म के चार सिद्धांत है, उसमें से तीन सिद्धांत खत्म हो गए थे. थ्री प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ धर्म ऑलरेडी डिस्ट्रॉयड. ओनली वन प्रिंसिपल ऑफ धर्म वाज लेफ्ट, and that is why the bull was standing only on one leg, which is the one pillar of religion was left. All other pillars of religion were already destroyed by Kali. So what are those four pillars of religion? Anybody wants to participate in this? आप बता सकते हैं कुछ पंडित जी? अच्छा चलिए पंडित जी. Lalit Prabhu is saying truthfulness. Parul ji is saying truthfulness. Yes, that is correct. That is one of the principle. Absolutely. What are the four principles of dharma? Dharma के चार आधार स्तंभ. Truth, honesty. Yes, that is one. That is correct. What are the four principles of dharma? So any building is standing on four pillars. If one of the pillar is weak, then that building is weak. Lalit Prabhu is saying fairness. Okay. So the pillars of four pillars of religion is nothing but four regulative principles which Srila Prabhupada ji has given us. So what are the four legs of dharma? So first leg of dharma is tapa, tapasya. Tapasya is one of the main principle of dharma. Tapasya means what? Tapasya means austerity or simplicity, which means for a present age of Kali Yuga, tapasya means not to drink alcohol. In the previous ages, tapasya used to mean that you go to the forest and do tapasya. But in the present age of Kali Yuga, not to drink alcohol, no smoking, no coffee, no tea, any sorts of intoxication is a tapasya. If you ask somebody, can you leave tea or coffee? It's very difficult. I just can't leave tea and coffee. अगर चाय कॉफी छोड़ दिया तो ही ये तपस्या है, सबसे बड़ी तपस्या ये है आज की तारीख, है ना? चाय कॉफी का धंधा बंद हो जाएगा. All the Tim Hortons will close down. People are lining up in front of Tim Hortons because it is an addiction. You know that? People stand in the lineup for hours and hours because they are addicted to tea and coffee. So, tapasya is very important. William is saying caffeine is a drug. Yes, that is true. Anything which causes addiction, anything which is a stimulant is a addiction. Okay. So tapasya is one of the pillar. Second pillar of dharma is saucham, cleanliness. क्लीनलीनेस दो प्रकार की है, एक तो बाहर की और अंदर की, इंटरनल एंड एक्सटर्नल क्लीनलीनेस. सो एक्सटर्नल क्लीनलीनेस मीन्स टेकिंग शावर or having a clean behavior. What does that mean? One of the cleanliness behavior which which Srila Prabhupada ji recommended is that shaucham is no relationship outside married life. You know, to treat all women who is other than your wife as a mother. That is the essential principle of religion, and that is the most important principle of cleanliness of mind. Today, one of the dirt which is accumulating in the planet, in the mind of people, is the lust. And to remove this lust is the main principle of religion. So, lust can be removed only by following the regulative principle. So, married life and treating all other women as the mother. Third principle of religion is daya. Daya means mercy. Oh. Our friend William is asking, what if you have no wife? So if you have no wife, then if you are in brahmachari ashram, that is good. If you are in the age of marriage, one can get married, and if not, then take sannyas. But otherwise, to have relationship with women outside married life is not recommended in the Vedic culture. So daya is the third principle of dharma, mercy. What does daya means? Daya means no killing. And another meaning of daya is to be kind to each other. No killing means no fish, no meat, no eggs. That is the one important principle of dharma. If somebody says, I am following dharma and eating meat or eating eggs, actually, when we go and buy grocery also nowadays, we have to be very careful because many of the items in the grocery store has this contamination of eggs. So we have to be very careful. And then the last principle of religion, as all of you said rightly, is the Satyam, truth. So three pillars of religion were already destroyed and only one religion was left. What were the three pillars destroyed? Austerity was destroyed. Saucham, cleanliness was destroyed. Daya was destroyed. Only which was left was truthfulness, which was also being destroyed. Now, truthfulness, also described as honesty, which is the principle, and Srila Prabhupada ji described and recommended that truthfulness means no gambling, no lottery, no quick money techniques. Actually, saying gambling is nothing but a sort of a immoral practice because a lot of people they lose their livelihood. Casino, when they go to gambling, a lot of people lose all the money. Only few people might be getting money out of it, but nobody wins there. It's sort of a cheating business. So gambling is not recommended in the Kali Yuga. So, if you really want to be happy, then these are the four legs of religion. Uh, if we are not able to do austerity in our life, if we are not clean, if we do not have mercy, and if there is no truthfulness in our life, then this is as good as living a hellish life. Uh, as good as living in the Narkaloka. So, Bull is saying to Dhara, Dharma is saying to Dhara, that are you crying because now I have only one leg left, which was the only leg which was left was out of this four, Satyam, truthfulness, and which was also becoming weak now. Actually, as the time progresses, the Kali Yuga is going to be serious and severe problem. All these are destroyed already. Further, Dharma Vacha, he is asking to Dhara, are you in great anxiety because henceforward the unlawful meat eaters will exploit you? क्या कह रहे हैं धर्म कि आप इसलिए रो रहे हैं कि आगे कलयुग में लोग आपको मार के खाने वाले हैं? Actually, this is true because as of Maharaj Parikshit's time, nobody killed a cow. Nobody ate beef. In the Western world, we call it as beef. Beef is forbidden in the Vedic scripture. Bull and cow is considered as a sacred animal. They are given special protection by Vedas. But in the Yuga of Kali, people are exploiting the body of bull and a cow. You know what they do? When the cow is giving the milk, they will take out the milk with the machine. And when the cow stops giving the milk, they use the machine to kill the cow. That is the tragedy of this Kali Yuga. Actually, cow is really our mother because after mother's milk, who gives you the milk? It is the cow. But we are inviting the suffering by exploiting the animals. Further, Bull said to Dhara, Dharma Vacha. Dharma is saying, are you crying because no sacrifices are being performed now? So, in the previous ages, people used to do various sacrifices, yagnas. uh, And in Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Krishna says in third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyat anna sambhava. What is that? All the living entities, they subsist on, we all survive on the food. है ना? हम तो खाने के ऊपर ही जीते हैं. अन्न. अन्न कैसे तैयार होता है? तो अन्न तैयार होता है यज्ञ से. सो कौन से प्रकार का यज्ञ? तो एक तो है आप फायर यज्ञ कर सकते हैं. यू कैन डू द फायर सैक्रिफाइस. बट अनदर सैक्रिफाइस इज ऑफ योर कर्म. So whatever karma you are doing, if you offer that karma as a sacrifice to Lord Krishna or Vishnu, that is also sacrifice. And in the Kali Yuga, the recommended yagna is Sankirtan yagna. Hare Krishna Mahamantra yagna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So chanting name of Lord Krishna and Rama is the yagna for Kali Yuga. And that is the Sankirtan yagna. But the problem with the Kali Yuga is that people are not doing any yagna. People are not doing the chanting of the yagna, chanting of the holy name also. So bull is asking to cow, the dharma is asking cow, because nobody is performing yagna, are you crying because of that? Or are you crying because the living beings, for the living beings, because of their suffering due to famine and drought? In Kali Yuga, lot of places have no rain for months and months. Is that right? Many places in the world have no water. no fresh water. So here, Bull is describing the qualities of Kali Yuga. As the Kali Yuga will progress, these symptoms are going to be aggravated. They say that the next world war will be happening over the water, because water crisis is going to be serious. You know, in many places in the world, water is not regular, supply. So for them, water is a luxury. Like there are big tankers which brings the water, and people line up for the water. And there's usually like a lot of people suffering because of no fresh water. In African countries, the when you open the tap, what water you get is muddy water. Here you get hot and cold water, fresh. Here you can drink the water from the tap, but you can't do that in many places across the world. Even now in Canada, also in many places across the world, water is contaminated by lead. So getting fresh water is becoming rare, and people are using all sorts of filters nowadays to. Uh, so Dharma is asking Dhara, is that people are going to suffer because of drought? And why there is drought? Because there is no yagna. If you do yagna regularly, why do we do yagna actually in Vedas? Like say in the previous ages, people used to do fire sacrifice for Surya yagna or Indra yagna or various different types of sacrifices. So when we offer the sacrifices to all the Devi Devtas, then Devi Devtas become pleased, and they provide all the necessities. So people in the Kali Yuga, they do not follow any of the prescribed duties. So Dharma is asking, are you crying for that? Further, Dharma is asking to Dhara, do you cry for the unsheltered woman and the children of the earth who will be left for the monsters to devour? The shloka says, Arakshamana striya urvi balana. So here, Dharma is saying that in Kali Yuga, as the Kali Yuga will progress, women and children will be neglected and they will be left unprotected. And that is true actually. Nowadays, people do not care for the children. And people produce the children without marriage. लोग बच्चे पैदा कर देते हैं, शादी नहीं करते हैं. And then they leave the wife and the children, and then they go somewhere else and then have another similar type thing. So this has become like a doggish or animal mentality in the material world. Women and children definitely needs some help, protection by elders, by the family members. That does not mean that women are weak, but physiologically, uh, their body is not as strong as man probably. So they need some protection, but this man who is supposed to protect is going to exploit the woman and the children. And that is the quality of Kali Yuga. That is why it is very difficult to trust anybody in the Kali Yuga. Right? So-called Dharma gurus also they cheat. Right? So this is the nature of the Kali Yuga, and Dharma is saying, is that because you are crying because this Kali Yuga has this effect? Further, Dharma is saying, or are you crying because Brahmanas or priests who are acting against the principle of Dharma? Here Bull is predicting about the behavior of the Brahmana class also. The Brahmanas are supposed to be the person who is supposed to give the knowledge, who is supposed to spread the message of Dharma. And the priests also, they were supposed to bring the people on the path of Dharma or spirituality. But many of, not all of them, I'm saying, but some of them, they use their authority and by their bad behavior, by their fraudulent behavior, they actually search for power instead of the serving the people. So Dharma, bull is worried that, hey cow, are you crying because so-called dharmas in the Kali Yuga will be of low moral character? Is that your worry and that is why you're crying? Further, Dharma is asking, or are you crying because now the general populace does not follow the rules and regulations of eating, sleeping, drinking, mating, etc.? So Dharma is saying to cow that nowadays in the Kali Yuga, people do not follow the rules and regulations. There are rules and regulations for human beings. There are no rules and regulations for animals. For example, for animals, there is no rule and regulation for producing children. A dog and another he dog and a she dog can produce the children on the street also. They can have their relationship on the street also. But is that allowed for humans? No. Humans have a behavior. Humans are supposed to cover their bodies. Animals are not supposed to cover their bodies. But nowadays, humans are behaving just like animals. I was staying in Toronto. I had a young children. मेरे दो छोटे बच्चे थे. मैं टोरंटो में रहता था. And when I used to travel from North York to downtown, temple हमारा जो था वो डेवनपोर्ट एवेन्यू रोड एंड डेवनपोर्ट के इंटरसेक्शन पे था. So I used to go to the temple when I was in Toronto. A long time back in 2003, 2004, 2005, I came to Thunder Bay. But at that time, my daughter was about 3 years or 4 years. My son was 1 year each. And me, my wife, and two children, we take subway and go to the temple. But to sit in the bus or on the subway was as if you are sitting in somebody's bedroom. Because boys and girls, they behave sometimes in such a way on the train or in the subway that you don't want to sit there with the kids. So then I decided I'm no more traveling there. I decided to buy a car. Otherwise, I never bought a car for first 3 years. But then I thought it is time to buy the car because it's not safe to travel with the kids, especially when the people behave like animals on the public places, right? There are rules and regulations for human being for eating. When we eat, how do we eat? There is a rule and regulation. According to Vedas, when you eat, you do a prayer. Uh, you offer the prayers to Krishna that, hey Krishna, thank you for giving us this food. Now we are going to accept it. And before you eat, you offer the food to Krishna. That is a Vedic way. But nowadays, what we do? We go to the restaurant or order on the Uber Eats or somewhere and eat the food. So that is the animal thing. Sleeping also there is a rule and regulation. But then Dharma is asking to Dhara, हे धरा, क्या आप इसलिए नहीं रो रहे हैं कि लोग अपने कर्म के प्रिंसिपल को भूल गए हैं? कैसे खाना, कैसे सोना, कैसे बच्चे पैदा करना, सब कुछ भूल गए हैं. There is a way of living, but people are just living like animals. Further, actually, there is a story of Ajamil. Ajamil की कथा मालूम है आपको? Ajamil was a Brahmin, but one day when he was traveling uh, from his work to home, he saw a young man and woman behaving in a very bad manners. They were touching, hugging, and doing all those things. Ajamil's mind got affected with that particular thing. And then Ajamil started following that woman. And such a wonderful devotee, he fall into association with the woman. and he became literally a thief. He did all wrong things, whatever he. So that was a bad association. And in the Kali Yuga, to get satsang is very difficult, but if you want kusanga, you can get everywhere. है ना? सत्संग के लिए आपको ढूंढना पड़ेगा कहाँ से सत्संग लो, लेकिन असत संग इमीडिएटली मिल जाएगा, जहां जाए जहां वहां असत संग. So that is the problem. So that is a thing, So people's behavior affects us actually. So that is why we have to be very selective in association. Whom are we associating with? That is the effect of Kali Yuga. Or Dharma is saying people are inclined to perform such activities anywhere and everywhere. So are you crying for that? Further, Dharma is telling to Dhara, "Oh Mother Earth." Here you see the Dharma is also addressing Dhara as a mother. Mother is not uh, only your mother who gives you birth. There are 7 different kinds of mother according to Vedas. So the mother who gives you birth is a mother, but Dharti is also our mother, and cow is also our mother. Nurse who looks after you after your birth is also your mother. So like that, he's saying, "Oh mother, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, Lord Krishna himself, who incarnated himself as a Lord Krishna, just to unload your heavy burden. You are now bereft of Lord Krishna's presence. You are probably now thinking of those activities and feelings and sorry in his absence." So here Dharma is saying that, "Hey Dhara, are you crying because Lord Krishna, who appeared on this planet to remove the burden of miscreants from your shoulders, now Lord Krishna has left. So are you feeling separation from Lord Krishna? And are you crying for that?" Dharma is saying, "I think that powerful influence of time, which conquers the most powerful, might have forcibly taken away all your fortune." Hmm? Here, Krishna is the Kala. So, Krishna is the time, and by the will of the Lord, anything can happen. भगवान चाहे तो कुछ भी हो सकता है. So, all these calamities which appeared and all in the life of Dharma and Dhara are because of the will of Krishna. The Kali came and he chopped off 3 legs of the bull, and he also tortured the cow, and he was about to kill the cow. Both of them were crying. That was the will of Krishna. Why? Because Krishna wanted to have Srimad Bhagavatam to arrive, to appear. And this all is happening because of the will of Krishna. So nothing happens without will of Krishna. Everything is planned by the will of Krishna. So then to answer those questions, Dharti, also called as Dharani, she started speaking. Dharani Vacha. Dharani is explaining in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 16th chapter, 25th shloka. Dharani is saying, or Dhara is saying, "O Dharma, whatever you have inquired from me shall be known to you. I shall try to reply all those questions." So Dhara is going to reply her problems, what is happening in her mind. Here, one of the important principle is that art of communication. Dharma is talking and Dhara is listening, and now Dhara is going to say and Dharma is going to listen. So very, very nice conversation. So Dharani is saying that, hey Dharma, I will tell you what you are looking for, but I am asking you one question to you as well. That once you had four legs, and I see that you are standing on one leg. When you had four legs, I remember that everybody on the earth, everybody on the dharti were happy. But now I remember what's happening with me. What is that? Because three of your legs are cut off. So, happiness, if you really want to be happy, then four principles of dharma are very important. Uh, Let's revise the four principles of dharma, which Dharti is saying. Okay, how many of you will remember the four principles of dharma we just talked about? Let's see, our friends online and friends here can participate and type four principles of dharma which we just discussed about 15 minutes ago. धर्म के चार प्रिंसिपल क्या क्या है? Austerity, William is correct. दूसरा, cleanliness, William is correct. Truthfulness, correct. And mercy, daya, very nice. So all are fulfilled, all of you. Austerity, truth, cleanliness, and mercy. Yes. So these are the four principles of dharma. Again, I'm revising here. Friends, if we can do a little bit of austerity in our life, getting up early in the morning, chanting holy name, doing some yoga, meditation, no intoxication, no gambling, uh, no relationship outside marriage life, and always associating with devotees. This is the essence of the dharma. If we are not associating with the devotees, then we will be in the trouble, right? So Dharni is asking, she's answering, and she's saying that you had four legs, and with those four legs, the world was very happy. The universe was happy. Further, Dharni is saying, Dharni Vacha, Lord Sri Krishna, the reservoir of all goodness and beauty, has now closed his transcendental pastimes on the face of earth. In his absence, the age of Kali has spread its influence everywhere. So I'm sorry to see this condition. So as soon as Krishna is gone, who entered? Kali entered. अगर हमारे जीवन में से भगवान निकल गए तो कौन आ जाएगा? कली आ जाएगा. इसलिए always associate with Krishna, then Kali will not dare to enter in your life. The day we leave Krishna consciousness, the Kali will enter in our life. And what will happen when Kali will enter? All the things which happened, which were just described by Dharma, will start happening. So Dharani is saying that the influence of Kali is there because Lord Krishna's influence is gone. Further, Dharani says that as Lord Krishna left, all the godly qualities, all the wonderful qualities which were there on this planet while Lord Krishna was there, they also disappeared. And what are the qualities associated with Krishna? So here Dharni is describing those qualities. And friends, these are the qualities which are also there in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. These are also qualities which are described in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Some of them, not all of them, but here Dharni is describing the qualities of Lord Krishna which are associated with him. She says, Satyam Shaucham Dakshantis Tyaga Santosha Arjavam Samadama Tapa Samyam Titikshavo Pratishrutam. So these are the qualities of Lord Krishna. Now, as I said, when you associate with Krishna, you develop qualities of Krishna. When you associate with fire, you become fire. When you associate with electricity, your body becomes electricity. Similarly, if you associate with Krishna, you develop qualities of Krishna. So here, Dharti is saying when Lord Krishna was here on the planet, all these wonderful qualities were there in Krishna as well as people who were there. What were their qualities? First one is Satyam, truthfulness, Saucham, cleanliness, Daya, intolerance of others' unhappiness or mercy, and Shanti, self control. Next one is Tyaga, magnanimity, Santosh, self satisfaction, Arjavam, straightforwardness, Sama, fixing of the mind. So, all these qualities were there when Lord Krishna was there. Further, Dhati is saying, Dhamma, control of sense organs, Tapaha, trueness to one's responsibilities, Samyam, indiscrimination between friends and foe, Titiksha, tolerance of offenses of others, Uparati, indifference to the loss and gain. So all these wonderful qualities were there when Lord Krishna was there. But all these qualities disappeared when Lord Krishna left this planet. Further, Dhara said other qualities. Jnanam viraktir aishwaryam shauryam tejo balam smriti swata antriyam kaushalam kshantir dhairyam mardavam evacha. So all these qualities which Dhara is describing of Lord Krishna has disappeared in the Kali Yuga. Jnana, knowledge about self, that is disappeared. Virakta, detachment from sense enjoyment. People want more enjoyment nowadays than less. Then Aishwarya, leadership, Shauryam, all these wonderful qualities which Dhara is describing to Bull, Dharma, is saying that all these qualities have disappeared from the planet. People are not interested. Further, Dhara is saying to the Bull, Atmanam chanushochami bhavantam chamarottamam devan pritrin rishin sadhun sarvan varnamsha tathashraman. So Dhara is saying, I lament not for myself. This is also a disaster for you, O Dharma, and for the highest immortals, the gods, the forefathers, the sages, and the saintly, and all the man obedient to the system of Varna and Ashram in the human society. So here basically Dhara is saying that as the Kali Yuga is progressing, people will not value for Varnashrama Dharma. Sarvan Varnan Tathashraman. So friends, Varna and Ashram, there are four Varna and four Ashrama. And these four Varna and Ashrama are according to the Vedas. They are not like classes or class 1, class 2. It doesn't like that. Varna and Ashram is as per the karma. So Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnam Maya Shrishtam. Huh? Guna karma vibhagasha. So Lord Krishna says that according to guna and karma, I have divided the society into four varna and four ashramas. So what are the four varnas? Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. And what are the ashramas? Brahmacharya ashram, Gruhastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram and Sannyas ashram. But the quality of Kali Yuga is that all the varna and ashram is destroyed. Actually, guna karma vibhagasha. Brahman is not by birth, but the quality of Kali Yuga is to declare a Brahmin by birth. Even this is Lord Krishna also explained that guna karma vibhagasha, which means that a person who is born in the life of in a family of a demon, like Hiranyakashipu's son is Prahlad, but Prahlad is greater than a Brahman, he is a Vaishnava. So, according to Varna and Ashrama, the different sections of the society work, and Brahmanas are considered like head of the Lord Krishna. Kshatriyas are considered like bhuja of Lord Krishna. Vaishyas are considered like belly of Lord Krishna. And Shudras are considered like legs of Lord Krishna. And which is important? Everything is important. Ah, head, arms, belly, legs, everything is part of Krishna. So nobody is higher, nobody is lower. Shudra is also as important as Brahmana. And Brahmana is as important as Kshatriya. Everybody is important to maintain the society. But what is happening in the Kali Yuga? The Brahmanas, they started abusing Shudras. And Kshatriyas started abusing their power. Administrative class, they started abusing their power. And that is why Kali Yuga started destroying all Varna and Ashram Sanstha. And that is the first attack of Kali Yuga, which is destroying the Varna and Ashrama. People started declaring themselves that we are Brahmanas while they were eating meat. People started declaring Brahmanas while they were drinking alcohol. Why they are declaring themselves Brahmana? Because they are born in family of Brahmanas. But that is not so. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Haridas Thakur was born in a Muslim family. But Haridas Thakur daily chanted 300,000 times holy name of Lord Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him a degree of Namacharya Haridas Thakur. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself glorified Haridas Thakur even though he was born in a non-Brahmin family. So here Brahmin is by karma, Kshatriya is by karma, not by janma. जन्म से आप कोई भी हो सकते हैं, लेकिन जन्म से आप ब्राह्मण नहीं बन सकते. जैसे कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ यू आर born in a family for doctor, can you be called a doctor by birth? Can my son who is born in my family become a doctor because he is my son? He needs to go to the medical school, get a degree, get a qualification, then he can be called as a doctor. Similarly, a Brahmana has to be by quality, not by birth. So that is very important concept laid down. But the Kali Dhara is saying here, what is Dhara saying? That this Kali has destroyed this Varnashrama Dharma system. Further, Dhara is saying here that soul of Lord Krishna's feet recently decorated my body with their prints marked with flag, spur, thunderbolt, and lotus. Lord Krishna was on the dharti, on the earth. So जब भगवान कृष्ण धरती पे चलते थे तो क्या होता था? भगवान के पदारविंद धरती पे लग जाते थे, है ना? भगवान के चरण कमल धरती पे लगते तो क्या होता था? भगवान के चरण के अंदर जो चिन्ह थे वो धरती के ऊपर आ जाते थे, है ना? उसमें क्या क्या था? शंख चक्र, जो भी गदा पुष्प. So all these symbols on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna were there on the earth. Lord Krishna stayed for some time in Dwarka. He stayed some time in Hastinapur. He was sometime in Mathura. He was sometimes in Nandagaon. And then sometimes gopis were separated from Lord Krishna. Sometimes uh, Satyabhama and all the queens of Lord Krishna were separated. Sometimes Pandavas were separated. Only person who was never separated from Krishna was Dharti. है ना? Dhara was always with Krishna because Krishna was always putting footprints on Dhara. So the most fortunate person who got benefit of Krishna's association was cow, Dhara. She was the most beneficial. So she is crying. She says, Lord Krishna was there. He was walking on me. He put his footprints on my body. And what has happened? Lord Krishna has disappeared. So I will never get association of Lord Krishna's lotus feet. So I am crying for that. Further, Dhara is saying, O personality of religion, I was greatly overburdened by undue military phalanxes arranged by atheistic kings, and I was relieved by the grace of Lord Krishna. So here Dhara is telling, remembering Lord Krishna, how Lord Krishna benefited her. Dhara is saying further, who therefore can tolerate the pangs of separation from Krishna? Kava saheta viraha. So Dhara is crying in separation from Lord Krishna and also arrival of Kali Yuga. And the symptoms of Kali Yuga is overwhelmed, and Dhara is seeing all this misfortune coming, and Dhara is crying in deep separation from Lord Krishna. Most of us are crying. हम रोते रहते हैं हमेशा, है ना? कुछ लोग पैसे के लिए रोते हैं, कुछ लोग some people are crying for money, some people are crying for कुछ कहते हैं ना मेरे पास पैसा ही नहीं है, पैसा ही नहीं है, पैसा ही नहीं क्या देखा है आपने रोते हुए लोगों को? कलयुग में लोग रोते रहते हैं. पीपल आर क्राइंग ऑलवेज. किसी को पूछो कि आज मंदिर बनाना है, कुछ देंगे दान दक्षिणा, अरे बहुत कल आते तो अच्छा था, आज तो कल ही हमने डोनेट किया, कल ही बहुत बड़ा बिल भर दिया, अभी नहीं दे सकते मंदिर के लिए कुछ. People are crying always, they are always like in a scarcity. If you compare your condition now as compared to few years back, you are much better, but still people are crying, oh I need more food, more money, more this, more that. If you really want to cry, then cry for Krishna, because that is the only richness which you are missing. हाँ? अगर आपके जीवन में एक जो नहीं है तो भगवान नहीं है, बाकी सब कुछ है आपके पास, है ना? बाकी किसी के पास कम है, किसी के पास ज्यादा है, लेकिन होल वर्ल्ड इज bereft ऑफ कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस. आज अगर जीवन में कुछ चीज की जरूरत है तो वो है भगवान का नाम, बाकी कोई चीज की जरूरत वैसे तो नहीं है. क्योंकि जब हम भगवान, when we will establish these four principles of religion on the planet, then the whole world will be happy. And that is why the Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad Gita, it is very important for us to preserve this Vedic heritage. अगर आप और हम नहीं पढ़ेंगे भागवतम और भगवद गीता तो कौन पढ़ेगा? कौन पढ़ेगा? और तो कोई पढ़ने वाला नहीं है. और ये भागवतम और भगवद गीता ही धर्म की स्थापना है, बाकी कोई नहीं है. हाँ, कृष्ण स्वधामो गते, जब भगवान अपने धाम चले गए तो ये भागवत और भगवद गीता ही भगवान है ना? अगर हम इसके नियमों का पालन नहीं करेंगे, इफ वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू फॉलो भगवद गीता एंड भागवतम, then we are inviting Kali in full swing. Now currently what we are doing is we are trying to fight against Kali. We are chanting the holy name, we are spreading the message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, we are reading Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, we are distributing prasadam, we are doing whatever our best. That is our fight against Kali Yuga. We are trying to stop the growth of Kali Yuga. If the day we will stop this, the Kali will enter in full swing, right? So it is our moral duty to fight against the effects of Kali. So cow is saying, I am crying because Krishna is gone, but I am missing Krishna. So if you really want to cry, cry for missing Krishna in your life. Otherwise, there is nothing worth of crying. Some people cry for family members. You know. There was a Gajendra Hathi. Gajendra was a very powerful elephant. बहुत powerful हाथी था. हाँ, वो शेर डरता था उससे. When he used to walk, the elephant was so powerful that all the jungle animals used to get scared of Gajendra. But one day Gajendra entered into the pond, and what happened was that Gajendra's feet was caught by a crocodile, and Gajendra started crying. And he started crying to get help. So he asked the help from his wife. Wife said, I cannot come because you are in the mouth of a crocodile. Nobody can save you from the mouth of a crocodile unless crocodile leaves you. है ना? आप मगरमच्छ को काट सकते हैं? Nobody can kill it. Crocodile is very powerful animal. Even elephant was powerful, but now he was in the kingdom of crocodile. He was in the water. So he was crying for help. He called his friends, family, wife, children. Nobody could come and help. But this crocodile, this elephant was smart. In his previous life, he had done Krishna Bhakti. So Gajendra started offering prayers to Lord Vishnu. Actually, this is a very nice katha. We will read that in Srimad Bhagavatam. But Gajendra's katha gives an example that we all are in the mouth of crocodile, and when he was crying, what did he remember? कृष्णा भगवान को याद किया तो भगवान आए, भगवान ने गजेंद्र को बचाया. तो अगर रोना ही है तो भगवान के लिए रो, नहीं तो मत रो. बाकी कुछ रो के कुछ फायदा नहीं है. जब मृत्यु आएगी ना तो कोई बचाने नहीं आएगा. When the death will be hanging on your head, when you will be in the mouth of a crocodile, in the mouth of death, and you call, doctor, can you give me 1 hour, 2 hour, 5 hour? No doctor will give you 1 second because you are in the mouth of a crocodile. मगरमच्छ के मुंह में चले गए आप. लेकिन भगवान को याद करना सीख लिया तो फिर भगवान आपका बेड़ा पार कर सकते हैं. तो रोना है तो भगवान के लिए, नहीं तो नहीं रोना. पैसे तो क्या, आज आपके नसीब में है तो पैसे आपको कल भी मिलेंगे, है ना. सी कर्म से और नसीब से ज्यादा तो किसी को कुछ मिलने वाला नहीं है. वट एवर इज डेस्टाइन्ड in your life, you will get it. So don't cry, don't work too hard also. You should work hard but not too much, so that you don't have time for Krishna. So in this way Dhara is remembering Krishna. She says, when he traversed my earth, I would be immersed in the dust of his lotus feet, thus would be sumptuously covered with grass, which appeared like hair standing on me out of pleasure. So while this earth and the dharma were doing this conversation, the saintly King Parikshit Maharaj, who reached there, and he heard this conversation. And here we are ending the 16th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. And next week we are going to read the punishment of Kali by Parikshit Maharaj. So how Parikshit Maharaj and Kali Yuga, they converse with each other, and how Parikshit Maharaj punishes Kali. We'll talk about that, about Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter number 17, in the next week. We will do Aarti ceremony. I want to thank you all for being part of today's program. I want to thank William, Vishal Prabhu, Ajit Prabhu, Anil Prabhu, Anita ji, Madhufai, Neil Prabhu, Nolin, Parul ji, Pratik, Thank you everyone for joining us for today's program, and thank you all whom for, I really appreciate. Thank you, Komal. Thank you, Lalit ji. Hare Krishna to everyone. Vishal Prabhu wants the quiz, but we have to do Arati. Vishal Prabhu, we will have quiz next week for sure. I'm sorry for that we didn't leave any time for the quiz. But we will do Arati ceremony, and you'll have a beautiful, beautiful darshan of Lord Krishna. It is coming on your screen. And stay back for the Arati ceremony. Does anybody has any questions before we begin the Arati? किसी का कोई प्रश्न? Anybody has any comments or questions about today's discussion? Seems like there is no question. If there is any question, please type in your chat box, so I will try to reply it after the Arati is over. And please join us for the Arati ceremony. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Vidina Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyabhadi Paschatyodeशकारिणे Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadeशकारिणे Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Shiva Jayo Jaya Gaurachande Bharati Kashobha Shiva Jaya Jaya Gaurachande Bharati Kashobha Jagamanalobha Janavikatavani Jagamanalobha Dakhineni Aishan Ame Gadadhara Vivadaki Eni Aisa Ame Gadadhara Vikate Advaita Vasachakradhara Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, 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 Hari Bol, 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 Jai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. नमामि विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिविजिकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नमामि विष्णुपाद परमहंस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। नाम जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। समस्त भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru Gauranga Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you all friends for joining us for the Aarti ceremony. Thank you very much. Wish you all a very happy weekend and hope to see you again next Sunday again. Hare Krishna, Anil Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you so much, Anil ji. Thank you. Thank you, Lalit Prabhu. Thank you, Neil Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you, William. Thank you, Ajit Prabhu. Thank you, Nolin. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ajit Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining us today. We'll hope to see you again next Sunday. Thank you, William. Thank you, everybody. Have a safe week for all of you. And we'll see you again next Sunday. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Parul ji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.